In this video, we are going to be connecting our WhatsApp AI agent to a vector database, and this is different from a normal database. If you are using a normal database, you would find that if you query that AI agent for something in that knowledge base, it's going to be looking for the same exact text that you're searching for. For example, if you said, do you redo locks? It's going to be looking for that exact text in that database. But a vector database is different because an AI agent does not look for that exact text, it looks for meaning. So when you upload data into a vector database, the database chunks that data, the text, and then it gives its numbers. It's called vectorizing. Once that is vectorized, now the AI agent, when you query it for something, it's going to look for the meaning within the text that is looks similar, or like it has the same meaning within that database. That is why it's able to answer not by looking at the exact text, but by looking at the text, the chunks that are similar in that database. So let's get to it. And for this, to connect our vector database to an AI agent, we need two workflows. We're going to need a new workflow where we upload data to the knowledge, to the database. Now it's going to be our knowledge base. And then we're going to hook now that workflow to our current AI agent. So let's get to it. We need a new workflow. So in this new workflow, the canvas looks like this. We can just rename it to vectorizing data. And then now we can add the trigger, which is going to be a Google Drive. We need to choose on changes involving a specific folder because we're going to create a new folder in Google Drive and then add our files. So I showed you how to connect Google products to n8n. We can do the same for this. If you don't already have, you just need to go to create new credential and go to cloud.console.google. No, cloud.google.com, and then follow the steps in the console. In the first video that we did, I showed you how to do this. So once you have your credential, we need to watch Google Drive. We can watch it every minute for this particular workflow, but when you have this published, you can just set it to every day so that it can look into your Google Drive if you have uploaded new documents. So for this one, you're going to just say watch every minute, and then we've said the trigger is on changes involving a specific folder. So we're going to go to Google Drive and we're going to create a new folder. Let's just call it the Salon Knowledge Base. I'm thinking of calling this Salon Flick. Then we're going to create that folder. And we're also going to upload documents into that folder. Let us look for it here. Here it is. So I'm going to upload the document that I've prepared as a knowledge base. It's here. It's a PDF document. So I'm just going to open it and upload it here. Once that's done, now I can come here in my n8n and now choose that particular folder that I've created. Let's look for it. This one, Flick Knowledge Base, and then we want to look for file uploaded, file created. Yes, this one. So you can even say fetch test event to see if it detects that. Yes, it has seen the file that we have already uploaded here, this one. So once we have that, we need to download this file. You can just say here that is file created. We can call it that, and then we have the document here. We can see it's a PDF. We have its name somewhere here. the spaces here, you can see the name is Zara Knowledge Base, and then we have the ID here also. So that's good. Now we need to download that file. So we need Google Drive again to download that file. So the action is download file. Now, so the same one, we need it to do it dynamically. So the file, the resource is the file, and then the action, the operation is download, and then we are going to be downloading from by ID. So let's look for the ID of that file that we've uploaded. Let's see, here it is by ID. Then that's that. We can see if it works. So we have downloaded that file here. Now we can upload it to our vector database. We are going to be using Pinecone. So let's go to Google and just search for Pinecone. I already have that. I had already searched for it, but it's pinecone.io. When you're on this vector database, if you've not created an account, you can do that now. Just say start for free. Then now we need to create a new index. So click create index and then give it a name. I'm going to give it like the Flick Dreadlocks Salon. No, it needs to be like one name. Let's call it Flick Dreadlocks. No spaces. So yeah, Flick Dreadlocks. And then we need to come here and choose an embeddings model. An embeddings is what is going to chunk that knowledge that we are going to give it. So let's use OpenAI's text embedding 3 small. And then come here to custom settings. We need to change the dimensions. Let's use 1536. That is the dimensions that the OpenAI's embeddings model uses. So 1536. And then click create index. From here, we need to get our API keys for this dreadlocks index. Let's come here and say API keys. And then we need to add an API key. You can just call it the same Flick dreadlocks and then say create key. Then now we can copy this key, come back to n8n. Now we need to add a vector database. Just search for vector and then come here and choose Pinecone. Here we can use any other, but we're going to be using that. And then the action that we need is to add documents to vector data store, to vector store. Okay, I executed without doing anything. So now we need to add our API key here. We just say create new credential. Come here and add your API key. And then we can also change it to maybe Flick, so you don't confuse which one you're using. Then we save it. Once the credentials are done, we can now say that we need to insert documents, and then we need to choose from the index that we did, this index that we have created here. So let's choose the index. The index is Flick Dreadlocks. And then we need an embedding batch size is 200. And then now we need to come back here. Let's clean up this one. We need to choose the embeddings model. Okay, embeddings. Okay, we need OpenAI. For OpenAI, we'll do the same text embedding 3 small, and we have our credentials, the ones that we had already created earlier. Then with that's done, to add the documents, we need a document loader. So we just use the default data loader. So for this one, we come here, we say load all input data, and then text splitting, we just say simple. Yeah, we need also to add metadata. For the name, we just name it as the same because we need to add a namespace. So let's come back here to the database. And then here you can see like we have our index already created. Let's add the name of our metadata, which is now our namespace, which is flick dreadlocks. And then the value, it needs to be the input, the name of the file here. So we need that to be dynamic. So let's go back and execute the previous nodes. Since we have already executed these two nodes, we can now come here and execute and check if we have the data here. We have that data. So in our data loader, we'll see that information here. So let's go to schema and go to spaces, find spaces so we can find the ID and fill it here. So once we have that, we can now come and execute this step so we can see if it has it can upload the data into a vector data store. Vector data store. So let's come here and say we need something else. We need a text splitter. So we say custom, so we can come and add our text splitter. Come and say add, and then we're going to add the recursive character text splitter. So for this document size, we need just a small chunk size, let's say 900. And then for the chunk overlap, you're going to use 50. And now we can execute this workflow. You can see it's uploading here. So you can see we have 84 items. Let's check in our Pinecone vector store if we have the same. So we have 84 items in this namespace. Same as what we have here, we have 84 items. So as you can see, that we have the records are here. These are the records. It has split into 84 items like this. Now we can attach this database to our workflow, our AI agent here. Like I had told you, in our AI agent configuration, we always need a memory because we need the AI agent to remember context and who it's talking to. So for this particular case, we're just going to use simple memory. And then we're going to say, let it remember like the last 10 conversations, like that. So when you're talking with your AI agent, it's going to remember the last 10 conversations that you have had with it. And then we're going now to add our vector database. For here we say, let's add our question answer, vector store question answer tool. Then let's describe your data here, like what is it going to be getting. We say like this vector, knowledge base works for click redlocks bar. Like that, and then we need to add now a Pinecone. Let's add Pinecone vector store. So we need to add the same API that we used. Let's go and get our API. We need another one. Create new credential. No, we just need to, let's reload this whole setup so we can have the credential that we created in this workflow to appear here so we can choose it. Now, when we come here, you can see we have that credential that we can choose. Yes, it has appeared. There it is. And then we need to choose the same index. the flick one, like that. And then we need to choose also the embeddings model here, OpenAI. So the same one, text embedding 3 small with our AI account, like that. So let's clean this up. So let's see what do we have. What are we missing here? Oh, the language model. Let's use OpenAI chat model. So the same one, yeah, seems good. So now when we query this agent, it should be able to go into a database and give us answers. So I'm just going to query it. So let me just create an event by going it inside and asking what is the name of the salon, and let me see, we're going to get a good answer. Like I'm just going to use here, let me just search. We have an error in our simple memory. Let's check that. So we need to say define below here so that we can get okay, let me just fix this. Let's come here to mapping and search for that information here at the body. Let's give it that. So now when we execute the workflow, it's supposed to give us a response. Let's clean that up. Let's just ask it the same question. So you can see, hey, we are flick that direct salon. Hi, salon based here. How can I help you today? So as you can see, our our AI agent is getting questions. It's going into the database and it's going to give us a response here. We can still ask it, what locks do you do? Let's execute so that you can listen to this one and send it. So it's still going to, it's supposed to go into our database and give us the answer it gets from there. So it's still executing that, but we can wait for the answer. Our WhatsApp AI agent can now answer correctly according to the database. Thank you for watching until the end. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.